Well, we're back, and we're back examining the ThinkPad T420. Now, in our last video, we experimented with a little Linux happenings there, and we tried a little live boot. But, I think this thing can do better. And what I mean by better is to be a system that can be utilized with a lot of apps that I'd want to use. And sorry to say, Linux come a long way, but the apps that I use just aren't always supported on Linux. So we're back to Windows on this system, and we're going to look at some specs on this thing. This thing's fully refurbished at this point with all the proper drivers, and it's sporting, let's see, Windows 10 Pro. So that's kind of a nice little bonus. Sometimes these systems come with, whatever they come with, and, sometimes I refurbish them with a new OS, but in this particular case I didn't have to. So, yeah. Windows 10 Pro. We can work with that. Alright, so when we look at this system, we decided to go with the About page. And in this About page, we can see some specs on the system. And we're going to just get a little deeper into this by closing out and drilling down into the CPU to start with. So looking at the CPU, we've got an i5 Sandy Bridge from about 2011, I believe, is the age of the processor. And yeah, it's a decent processor. And let's take a quick look over at the motherboard. Well, the motherboard is a excuse me, a Lenovo motherboard with this stuff. And yeah, thing I look for is the date of the BIOS and version, and it's 2013, so a few years after the system was first sold, so fairly up to date. I don't generally update to the latest version unless there's a good reason for it. You risk bricking the thing and everything, so no need. I got DDR3, 8 gigabytes of RAM. It could certainly use a bit more, but it'll definitely get the job done. And yeah, it's running at 666 really megahertz. Let's take a look at the individual sticks. So we got a Samsung, and it's from 2011. Let's take a look at the slot 2, and excuse me, sorry about that. We have another 4 gig stick, but this time it's a Kingston, and it's from 2015. So I would think that this is probably been an update, an upgrade, or however you want to put it. I think that is what it is. They probably added some RAM to the system, which, hey, I picked it up for the same price as whatever it came with, so that was a bonus. We got the old Intel HD Graphics 3000 using, the Sandy Bridge. So, it will probably be okay, because at this point, the graphics that they were working with the Sandy Bridge technology of the CPU was getting pretty reasonable. I mean, the actual dedicated memory is only 32 megabytes, but it has enough shared DDR3 that we should get some decent performance. We'll find out though. So, enough about that. Let's move on to some of the general specs. We got, like I said, Windows 10 Pro 64-bit. We've got a lot of the stuff we've already looked at, and we're homing in on, we got an optical drive. It says no optical drive detected, but it's because it goes into a sleep mode and it doesn't detect it. But believe me, it has a optical drive. So, yeah. Don't be fooled. High definition audio. And yeah. You know, I like, one of the things I like is the 1366 by 768 screen. Decent. I like that. Kind of gets the job done for me. And let's close that out. We got pretty much all that sorted. Now let's take a look at the SSD in this thing. Now this wouldn't have come with an SSD, so this is a added bonus that somebody had put that in. And let's take a look really quickly. Let me just see if I can get my, where my mouse is, my pointer. There we are. Take a look at that. 21.5 days of use. Yeah, that's pretty much a brand new SanDisk SSD. Nice. That's good. That's 100% good. Running at a nice cool temp. So, yeah, guys, sometimes you just luck out. So whoever donated it, you know, it's a nice, sweet donation here. So here we go. This is the, let's move this over in the center here. All right, guys. This is the big test, NovaBench. We're gonna give this thing a run and get some general graphical, benchmark scores and see how those graphics work out. And this is like a benchmarking tool I use on all my systems from Windows XP all the way up to Windows 10. It runs on all of those systems. I don't have to do anything special. It's very simple and I kind of like it. So it gives me a way of benchmarking across a lot of different OSs. And here we go. Always warns you to shut everything down. We're all shut down. Let's see what we got. And you know, this is going to be a typical, you know, run through a bunch of operations on the CPU. And it should go pretty quickly here because we're not dealing with a, you know, XP system. We're dealing with a serious laptop here. A proper, okay, here we go. This is the one we are always looking at here. And I'm seeing some good FPS, so that's nice. That tells me this thing's got a little bit of graphical abilities. You can actually use it for a few things. Okay, let's focus in on this. And hey, 627. That is pretty good. That is actually very good for this type of system from 2011. I've got stuff newer than this and it doesn't even score that high. So that's really good, guys. So yeah, quick overview is the RAM scores well, the CPU scores well. The graphics are at 28, but the frames are, you know, 96. So for a lot of applications, even some light gaming, this thing would do okay. Yeah, not bad. And the last score is typically related to the if it's a disk drive or it's a SSD. That's usually what that's related to. So yeah, it does good. 27 is a very good score for that sort of thing. So let me just say, this is a top-notch system. Nice, perfect shape. It has really nothing wrong with it. I haven't come across anything. I've been looking around for, typically with a system when you buy it from a thrift store, yeah, you can run into some issue, some weirdness. In this case, all the keys and everything just seem to work. Everything's good. The knob works. All the drivers work when I installed them, and anything that was missing I was able to find. So this thing is a top-notch system. So there you go, guys. That's my standard sort of approach to rating these systems I get. In this particular case, I even played around with it with Linux. So if you were one of those Linux guys who really needs a Linux system, well, this is probably a great system for you. For me, I need it's not so much about the OS, it's the apps. It's like what I'm trying to accomplish on a system. I don't know. Linux guys, I know the developer community loves Linux, and I can relate to that. I can understand that. There's a lot of development you could do on a Linux system. But a lot of times for the apps, that's the challenge I'm having with Linux. I want to love Linux more, but it's the apps. I miss the apps. There's certain apps that I can't find, and I can't find them on, I can't find them on Linux, and so yeah, out in the cold, right? So maybe if you're someone who's into the Linux community and finding alternative apps, you could really make a go with this thing. It's a hobby machine for me anyway, so it's not that important. But hey, I just gotta say, gotta give you my 2 cents. So there you go, guys. Somebody asked about whether you could use this thing and convert from Windows. My opinion is, if you have really specific apps that are only Windows based, my recommendation is stick with Windows. Anyway, that's my little 2 cents. Hope you're having a great evening. It's quite late, but I decided to just do this to finish the process. I just finished up adding all the different programs, and this is like the final steps in the refurb process that I do. So thought I'd share this with you. So that's it. Talk to you later.